everybody and welcome in. My name is Yolanda Roos. Today we're going to be tapping into the Moonology deck and the lesson that we're going to be learning as collective for this moon cycle. We are watching this March, I want to say it's the 20th. Sounds good. So March 20th, it's just after the new moon has started. We have a collective thing that we learn during this cycle. We probably have a personal thing too. So we're just going to tap in and see what you guys need to know, what you'll be learning, what you need to be aware of, maybe so you can be doing shadow work while you're, going through this. My name is Yolanda Roos, and this channel is designed to help you grow, become one with yourself in an essence that you can have your true self come out. Healing work, messages from the universe to help you understand. There's a lot of shifts going on right now. We had a meteor come through. We had, I don't think there was any eclipses or lunars. We'll see. So what do you need to know for this cycle? What you're going to be learning, understanding, growing. Give me clear understanding of the message that's coming through, that I might guide to everybody. All right, let's see. So if you like the channel, you can subscribe if you want. Helps you know when videos come out. Not necessary. The channel is just meant to find you when it needs you. If you found you and it's not the full moon or new moon or anything, there's a message. So just take what's being said with a grain of salt. If it doesn't fit, it's not your, it's not your message, don't worry about it. Or if you're just, a lot of times they just give us good insight just to consider and have in our life. So we'll see. As you can tell, I just got up, my voice, hopefully it'll carry through. I wanted to talk to you guys. It's been a little while. I apologize. I was not feeling well. And I actually had to go to the hospital. So I'm doing a lot better. All right, so we'll get one more to see. There we go. All right, bottom of the deck, we have push through any insecurities. So this might be working on your shortcomings, things that you're dealing with. We'll see how it pertains when we read through the cards. So the first one that came out is this one here. And we have forgive. So there's something in your life, somebody, something, yourself, that needs to be forgiven. Or it's time to actually embrace it. This one is the full moon in Pisces. Pisces is the fish, water. It's kind of flowy. There's two fish, so maybe, it's a dynamic, a relationship, a friendship. Even, I would say, family. I'm just trying to see. Clarify. But forgive is a normal thing. I mean, there might be some things that you haven't dealt with, or something's happened in the past and you want to hold on to it, and it's time to deal with it, understand it, whether you go back in a relationship or not, or friendship, whatever. It may be time to release it. That's what I'm getting, that it's time to actually let it go, and not let it have a hold on you, because you may not be dealing with this person, this situation, or even if it's yourself, but it's time to finally say, okay, I forgive myself for doing XYZ, or I forgive that person, but I think I'm just going to stand free. But you know what? I need to just let it go. It happened. It's done. Holding on to that anger, strife, things of that nature, it doesn't really serve any purpose, and it actually hurts you. It makes it worse. So your next card that came out is Think It Through. So they could go together or they could be separate. So you could have to think through what actually happened. If the person, if the person did something intentionally, or if it just happened. If it's something with you, maybe think through that maybe it really wasn't as bad, or it was worse than what it was. If you're dealing with something you've done, we make mistakes. People might make you feel a certain way, but you gotta, step into your own power, embrace who you are. We make choices that are not wise. I mean, I just did it before. I made a choice and then got into it, and it happened so quickly, and I was like, oh, wait, no, this isn't going to work, and I don't think I'm going to do that, and I during Mercury retrograde, we're at the end of Mercury retrograde while this is happening, but it's still going to be a couple days. So if you're watching this on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, you could still be feeling a little bit of Mercury retrograde being in the air, I guess you could say. So we're going to be forgiving, think it through. I think part of it, the thinking through, is like, is it really worth holding the grudge? Not like you don't have to hang out with a person, but I feel like there's heartstrings or strings attached to it that are causing you, even if you're not talking to the person, somehow you're still holding on to what happened, what went wrong, what went down, you or somebody else, okay? And then your last card is Attune to the Divine. So, and that's a new moon. You got 2 new moon things and 2 in Pisces. I feel like we might be going into Pisces. I think we're in Pisces season. Maybe that's why it's jumping up. We need to connect to our higher power. We need to connect to our higher self. We need to get away from all the drama, the fear-based things, the hate, the things that cause us to stumble, be upset, because this push through any insecurity. So there's something that you are dealing with that you're not feeling truly confident with. And I don't know if it's because you've made a mistake in the past, but now you've learned, or you're getting to a point. I feel like there's a situation, there's some people here that they have to forgive themselves for something maybe they've done, something that they feel that's lacking, or something that's happened that they didn't understand. Maybe there was even ignorance, not stupidity, ignorance, not having experienced something before or not aware of it, and you've never really dealt with something. That gives you ignorance because you don't understand, because not that you are stupid and you're just being haphazard. You've just never dealt with that. You've never understood it. Like if somebody that has never lost a child will be ignorant to how it feels to lose a child because they've never experienced it. Now, if they were stupid, they would say, if they had done it, they'd be like, oh, why are you acting that way? It's not really cool, blah, 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 blah. Being stupid is being above and saying things or doing things, or like being super judgy. Like, why are you doing that? Like, not even having compassion. So I feel like there is something that has happened in your life, or that's happening, that's giving you a little bit of insecurity about who you are. I feel like this is what's coming through. There's times in our life when we go through challenges, we go through lessons that we need to learn, but they are challenges. They are trials, tribulations they talk about. And I feel like you've gotten to a point that when you make a mistake, or you misjudge something, or you like smack yourself, like, why are you doing this again? Or what? Because we're human, we fall into patterns, we can fall into old habits and things like that. And I feel like when we get out there, or we get so distracted and we lose the connection with, I don't want to say like the religious God, but God in an essence of the power that be, the higher power, working toward taking care of humanity, trying to be a good person, feeling optimistic and feeling peaceful. Like, we lose that sometimes when we pull away from that. There's a higher power, there's a higher purpose. If you're on a spiritual walk, it's going to be very tumultuous, because when you start walking in that awakened state, and even with religion, when you start really going into it and you start wanting to be a good person, you want to cleanse out all that stuff, you want to be selfless, whatever it might be, you become a little bit different. It's a different mindset. So when you get distracted by the world, you get distracted by things, maybe you made a mistake, maybe you, because it's saying forgive, think it through, and attune to the divine. There's something that has happened, and I feel like you're taking it very personal. And this month is going to be a month to get over a hump with something that may be hindering you, popping up from the past. We just had Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde could be playing a significant part, that something during this cycle came up, happened, and now you have to just accept it. In the essence that you need to process it, move on, and not hold on to things, or not begrudge somebody, because during Mercury retrograde, babies, you're gonna have all kinds of stupid stuff. You're gonna be feeling things from the past are gonna come up. You're gonna be dealing with car troubles and issues, and why did I buy this car? It's a piece of crap. It's not that it's a piece of crap, it's that during this time, all those things that you might need to maintain are gonna come out during Mercury retrograde. So don't be upset. Just get through it. Deal with the things you need to do, fix the car, communications. There might have been miscommunications. You might have been feeling off. You might have responded to something, or somebody responded to something to you, and you're like, oh, I can't believe that. And you got your panties in a pinch, and now maybe you feel stupid, or you think that that's still a problem, but is it really worth fighting over? Is it really worth being mad that you could get over something, especially if someone's asking you for forgiveness, that they made a mistake? Be careful not to hold on to grudges, because it does go against you, and it creates strife, and it creates bitterness, and that's not going to send you on a higher vibration. It's not going to send you into a better place to be, because as you keep holding all that negative energy, it brings your frequency down. And the archons and the people that want to take you down and keep you in low vibe, they're very happy. They're like, yeah, you stay mad. Don't listen to it. You need to free yourself of all the things that upset you. You need to find a way to release the things that upset you. Accept it, process it, release it, especially if there's nothing you can do. So I feel like there's going to be some forgiveness this cycle, or thinking, or having to understand or make the choice to forgive somebody, including yourself. Thinking things through. Don't be haphazard. Make sure you're thinking things through. Make sure you're thinking of all the details, not just what the person did and how it made you feel. Okay, because this is a moon cycle. So did they have good intentions that didn't come out right? Did somebody do something and make a mistake, and they're saying, I'm sorry, I screwed up, or I got upset, or I got worried, or I got paranoid, or my past paranoias came back to get me, and I said something or did something, or I didn't do something and I pulled back. Be graceful with yourself and with other people, and then attune to the divine. Connect to your higher self. Connect to the higher being that we call God, monad, divine, source, whatever. And then it says underneath that, be proud of yourself. So there's something that you or somebody else might have done, and it's causing a little problem. I know I'm feeling it a little bit. I made a choice to do something because it kind of came up quick, and then I realized that it wasn't going to work out. It wasn't going to be feasible at all for my future. So I said, oh, I don't think this, something was telling me this is going to be not what you need to do. And it was a new opportunity I had been considering. And I actually went through and got everything started, but it's not going to work out. It's going to be too much money. And I'm 53 this year, and I'm not old, I'm not young, but I really wanted to kind of slow down a little bit. And I think that the choices I was making was like thinking like a younger person, and I can do the same thing in my own state where it won't cost me as much. I was pursuing college, but I went through a different state, and it was going to be absolutely too much. So I'm going to learn on my own until school starts in the fall, and I'm going to decide if I'm going to do a degree or something local where it's not going to cost out of pocket, just my time. So you understand. But I felt stupid because I had gone through all that stuff, and I had, I have to forgive myself. I'm just trying to find my way. I'm just like you guys. I'm trying to find my way after COVID, when everything changed, and I'm going into that next stage of my life. I'm awakening, so my path is turning in a different way, and I'm so used to the way I'm supposed to be. And this might be something you're dealing with. We're just so used to the programming we used to be, and the new energy has come in around 2020. COVID happened and changed everything. The new energy is really in full force now. We have air energy affecting us, which is winter, swords, things like that. It's logic, it's redoing things, being more free, but it will change you because it has a totally different energy than the earth energy. So if you're going through transitions and you haven't landed yet, it's okay. Be gentle with yourself. And that's what I had to tell myself. It's okay, Lani. You don't have all the answers. Just do what you need to do. And we'll get through this. And once the energy sets, not everybody's on the same path. Not everybody's, and sometimes we resist it and don't even know. Like, I work at a place and I tell people right out, I don't mind this job. It's not a bad job. Close to home. I cook, I take care of people. I work in a little quick stop gas station type of place, but it's 5 minutes from home. I get paid well for what I do in this area especially. But it's not fulfilling enough. I'm doing it for now because I have to pay my bills, but I keep saying, okay, whatever's coming through, please show your way. So maybe you're dealing with the same type of thing. You're kind of just going through the motions a little bit right now. You got to pay your bills. I think it's a quiet year. It's setting the groundwork for what we need to do. So do you have any messages, spirit guides, angels, for my people? So the first card out is 5 of Swords. So this is part of that winning at all costs. So this could be the problem. You don't want to be the loser. It could be an ego thing. So if you're dealing with something or somebody that wants to be right, either walk away from that situation and just say, fine, whatever, I'm not going to fight with you. Or you might be the person that you have to be the winner. You have to be right. And you're going to lose everybody in the process. And it's going to be devastational in an essence, because it's going to be people that you're going to lose because you think you need to be right. There's nothing wrong with standing in what you believe, but having to be the winner with all the casualties, is it really worth being the right person to lose a loved one, to lose a job, to lose whatever you're dealing with, whatever is coming up against you that you're fighting? This is usually a card that is like a battle, and there's really no winner out of it, because once you get done, everything that you fought for, now there's nothing left. And then you both walk away empty-handed and all the people are dead. That's usually, in the old tarot, that's what it was. It was like a battle. And there's like, you win and you conquer, but then everything's lost, damaged, war, like what's happening with Iraq. Maybe that's part of the energy. Like, why do we have to be right? Can't we just fix things? Can't we just understand? Can't we agree to disagree? Do we have to fight to the battle and have to lose the people that are loving and important to us because we think that we're right and we have to shove it down somebody's throat? I don't know if that's the case for anybody, but it might be. Do you need to be right? Or do you need to continue to fight with that person? If that person thinks that that's what it is, could you be like, okay, I don't agree, but you know what? Everybody has their right to their own opinion, and move on and not destroy something. We all have an opinion. It's what makes us who we are. But is it worth losing your friendships and your people? And it might be, All right, 3 of Pentacles. We have needing of other people to complete or make something. In the tarot traditional, there's a church with like the clergy, a person that's building, and then there's I think a monk or something. There are pieces of the pie that need to come together to create something. So it's a joint effort, or is including a group of people, different people that have to collaborate, or different people that bring something to the table. So there could be a situation where the misunderstanding and the forgiveness for something is that somebody feels maybe they're more important when they're not. They're all part of the pie. One person has to make the drawing, one person has to have the money, and somebody has to build it. You are all important, because without one of the pieces, it might not work. So know that, somebody might feel that they're more important, and that could be a problem. Or somebody is saying that you can't go on without me, or type of thing like that, where they think they can do it all on their own. That's what I heard. Somebody thinks they can do it all on their own, and actually they need help. They need to realize that, yes, you might be able to try to do it on your own, but wouldn't it be easier if you brought people in, or stop pushing people away? Because if some people are trying to help you, it's almost like you want to just do it on your own. And at this moment, the problem is that the people want to help you and you don't want to do that because you want to be able to maybe say you did it on your own or whatever, or you have pride and ego that you don't want someone to come in and help you, or you might not know how to do it and you don't want to admit that you need help. So that could be for somebody. Then we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is how you do things, your day-to-day life situation, how you believe spiritually, how you perceive with the higher power. It is usually, I don't say a church figure, but the Hierophant is somebody that's overseeing, and it's the person that's putting the structure. So you could be dealing with belief in religious systems, belief in government systems, day-to-day things. And there's people that are thinking that either they know the right way or their way is the only way. I'm feeling a vibe of dealing with people that need to be right, you or somebody else, and it's causing an issue. Please clarify the Five of Swords relating to this cycle. So this is the energy that could be coming up for this month. It's an awareness so you can see. Maybe you need to be learning. And what I'm getting is that we need to be learning that not everybody runs in the life that we live the same. We all have different aspects. We all have different ideas. We all do something different. We need to acknowledge that everybody from the bottom up is a part of the puzzle. We all play a part in society. Nobody is above anybody else in a spiritual or a humanity side. We need someone to clean. I think we've talked about this before. You need someone to clean the hospital. You need someone to feed the people. You need the nurses to continue to care for them while they're there. You need the doctor to be able to assess it. You need the building and the business people, so because if you don't pay the bills or you're not economically being smart, you're going to be spending too much money. Everyone is important. Everyone plays a part in society, in life, in your job. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a place. Everybody does something specific to contribute to the whole. And Queen of Wands is creativity. So maybe there's somebody trying to be right, somebody's being creative, and somebody's trying to think of a new way or do something, and the other people want to stay the way they're doing it, because we do have this split in the timelines. So this is being a leader that's inspired, filled with sun energy. Please clarify the Three of Pentacles. Okay, Three of Pentacles comes out with the Devil. So, oh, my husband's phone. So the Three of Pentacles with the Devil makes me feel like sometimes the ego, that's what I was thinking. The ego gets in the way, or there's something that is dealing with material things, building something material, building something, or there's a three-party dynamic that something has to be dealt with. And it's not, because the Devil can be just playful, sensual energy. It can be materialism in a sense of beauty and vanity and different things. But the Devil can be codependency. And I feel like there may be a dynamic that somebody feels they're more important. Like I said, ego, the Devil, and it could be distorted a little bit, or that somebody is narcissistic and they're trying to control everything, and everybody needs to come together. It's not just that one person. There could be a codependency in your life that you feel like you have to stay in a dynamic or a situation. Either you feel that you're the most important, or you're feeling like somebody else thinks that they're more important than you are, and you all have to come together and do something. So maybe there'll be, you know, like an ego battle a little bit, or who's got the biggest type of thing, the pecking order. So maybe something's going to be happening where there might be a battle of people trying to be right, and maybe this month ahead you're going to have to figure out everybody trying to be doing their piece of the pie for the greater good, like for the whole. Instead of one person, it may be you need to come together and be connected as a whole as to what you're supposed to be doing. Right now we have a war going on in another country. We have a lot of people dealing with that because it causes a lot of strife, and nobody's more important. Everybody's important. We all play a part in the world scene. Everybody plays a part, even the little countries, the big countries, you know, the different races, the different people, the different jobs, different everything. We all are essential for growing together. So the Hierophant, what do we got here? The Hanged Man. There's a pause or a perspective change. We're seeing things from a different angle. Yeah, the thing I'm getting is that there's something that has happened because people have perceived or have seen things a certain way, and they need to look at it from a different perspective. I think that we get very caught in our ego or what we think things are supposed to be. Sociology is about the social norms that we're used to. So if you don't fall into the social norm, we sometimes as humans, we think, oh, they're not doing what they're supposed to, or this is the right way because that's the way you've been taught. Now, is it the right way? It might be, but it might not. Or it might be that they look at life differently than you. They've been raised in a different perspective, a different view, a different angle, you know? So consider that things in your life, are you upset and not wanting to forgive somebody because you feel you're right? Now, you could possibly be right, but is it you're right because of scientific proof, or you're right because that's what you believe? And you can't understand why somebody wouldn't believe like you. Like I'm intelligent. Like, this is what I believe. This is what I've been taught. This is how it's supposed to be. And I think we get programmed into what we've been taught. And we're in a very transitional time. This energy from earth energy to swords energy is going to be very volatile because it's going to change the way people perceive themselves, others, situations, how things are supposed to be done, because it's approached at a different kind of level. So it's going to totally change. Half the people are going to be in, they want to stay in earth energy, and then the other half is like, oh, well, maybe we could consider this, or, you know, maybe let's try to tweak this because it's really, there's things I'm seeing that really aren't working. And the other people are like, no, this is how we've done it for 400 years. This is how we're going to keep doing it. That's the type of energy. I feel like there's something that's been happening, being that's always been a certain way, and now there's a new energy, a new people, a new growth of generational people that, or people that are seeing a system that's not working, or an idea that's not working, and they are coming to that point like, oh, why don't we try this? And some people just don't want to change, and some people are like, you know, hey, let's try. I don't know, maybe it'll work, we're not sure. So in your life, be open to the fact that either you need people, or that you are not the most important dynamic to something, or that you all come together to complete a whole. That everybody in your circle, your universe, whatever, needs to come together because they all bring something that's important, okay? Forgiving yourself for making stupid choices, thinking things through before you do it, say it, perceive it. We are automatically, we respond automatically sometimes. And that can get in the way because if we don't think. All right, allow, may you soften into what is. And that could be part of it too. Living in denial. So I don't know if you've just gotten used to a certain thing and the new things in your life, or the changes, or awareness that what you or somebody else was doing is no longer going to work or doesn't work. Okay, so allowing the understanding that you might have to change a little, or that things are changing, and without getting yourself upset, either considering your values or whatever and walking away from people, but not being angry, not allowing things to fester inside of you. Any other words, messages from this deck? Do you have any words? Allow is a beautiful word, because when you allow, you're not forcing, you're letting things unfold and clear. May you see things as they are. Yeah, this is what I think is happening. There are things that are coming to be, and you are living in denial. Some of you, not everybody, that and it's you or someone in your life. So this is a twofold. Remember, I read for the collective. So either you or someone in your life is really not wanting to accept a dynamic, things that change, what's happening in people's lives, or they're just seeing things in a certain perspective, and you might be, or that person is like why can't you see it this way? And the person could be just whoever it is, you or somebody else. Well, that's the way I think, and that's what I'm going to be, and I'm not changing. Okay, that's your choice. But knowing that maybe you need to be open, or you need to allow the person to think as they are and come to it on their own, because they may, but you can't get mad, because everybody grows and matures at a different time, including yourself. You could be the person that's just not ready to change, and just maybe you need to say to people, please just be patient with me. I'm just used to doing things a certain way, and it's going to take me some time to change. I don't really totally agree with that, or I don't know, or that's new to me, or I don't think so, because it could be you're not sure about it. You could be a person that needs to have definites, or you feel a certain way, or you've been programmed a certain way that this is the way it's supposed to be. And especially around religion, when you've been in a church or type of thing, it's like a death. It's like coming out about something that people don't want to be criticized or talked about. Sometimes there's things in our life that we have to come out and say, no, I don't agree, or I'm moving to something different. And other people might say, oh, I don't know why they're doing it, because they're still in that mindset that they want to stay what they are. The person that's changing is going to go through a little bit of chaos, because they are going to be creating a ripple in the normality that everybody's been used to doing. And they are allowing things to happen. They are trying to be open. They're considering new things, or they just say, this isn't working, we need to try something new, where other people might just say, well, that's just how it is, you just keep doing it that way. So maybe this month, consider things that aren't working, or if somebody says something, before you quickly just dismiss it, maybe see why they're thinking that way, or what's been going on to make them want to change. Like, don't just judge without maybe letting them talk, without interrupting them, without saying, oh no, that's not right. Just say, okay, if this is how you feel, like if you want someone in your life and you really don't understand, maybe to get a perspective, why do you think this way? Because they might bring something up that you didn't realize, or you might learn something about them that they need something different. And we're not programmed the same. We are not all the same. We're not born the same. We have different attributes, different bodies, different conditions, different minds. We're all programmed, and we receive things differently. So this is the Oracle of Change. What's going to be changing this month? We're going to go through one cycle. What's going to be changing this month, or could be changing? This could be, remember, this is for everybody. So all right, the two that came out, you've got retirement. So something's going to be finishing. Retirement is finishing from something you were doing and starting something new. And it could be a job, it could be quietness, it could be whatever, but something in your life is finishing. You are retiring from something you've done. I've heard a lot of people, they're changing their jobs. Now that could be still considered a retirement, even if you're 30, 40. You could have tried a job, been with it for a while, say maybe got out of school, and then you put in your 25, 20 years, and now you're going to retire and go to something new. That's still retirement, no matter what age. You are retiring from that job, and you're going to do something else, or nothing, whichever. So this is going to be very prominent. There's going to be a lot of people transitioning from one, and I feel like with retirement, it means you are pursuing something different. Because if you were going to a different job with the same thing, that's not retirement. That's just switching jobs. This is like you are trying something brand new. You are opening a business. You're going back to school for a brand new job. You are literally retiring, and maybe you're going to be on Social Security, and you're just going to pursue your own little things that you do on the side. But either way, you are starting. There's a group of us, I don't know if it's all, but you are retiring from something you did. Take it as not just a job. There's something you might have been part of the knitting club for 40 years, and you're like, maybe your hands are hurting, or it's just not your thing, or you don't want to do that anymore, and you're like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go and be athletic. And it's nothing to do with anything you're doing. You are going to probably do something different, or you're going to make a change. Like retirement can also mean like going to a different place, embracing a change in your body. Say you're getting older and it's becoming too hard, so you retire. So you might be younger, but your body might be getting worn out and you need a different job, a different thing, hobby, whatever, that's more in alignment to you now or to your aging body. Okay? And keep the faith. So there's going to be a transition time. And I'm wondering if this retirement thing is that you're going to be going through something. And it talked about connecting to the higher power. There's a transition in the life of everybody. And if you don't have a higher power or something to anchor to, I guess you could say, it could be a little tumultuous. It could be hard. It could cause you a little strife, because if you're venturing into something new, you could have outside resistance. You could have your own insecurities. If you feel like you're stressing because something is changing, or there's a dynamic in your life changing and you haven't chosen it, but it is affecting you because of the change. It could be your kids, your life, your friends, your job, whatever. But somehow it's affecting you. You need to draw on the higher power. You need to either pray, meditate, find a way to deal, find a way to find joy, peace, and happiness, and being your true, authentic self. And I'm going to say this. If you're struggling, you need to ask for discernment, not patience, but like longevity. Have the faith, because there might be a cycle of time that we're going through where things are going to be a little off because it's new. Okay, so we're going to get one more card. This one went a little bit longer because of it's a different type of message. So what finishing card do you have for my beautiful peeps? Okay, that's the one. So these will be coming out soon. I can't wait. You may need to find balance in your life or some aspect of your life. Consider work and play, spend and save, give and take. Creating balance will help with creativity and success. Yeah, because we have that creativity. So I feel like when you find the balance of what you need to do, what you can take care of, what you can't, the hours you can work. Do you need to cut your hours back? Do you need to retire? Are you holding on to something that you maybe it's time to just do something and you're scared, or you don't know what else to do because it's all you've ever done? There may be a time of change because there's something new approaching in your life, or something that's coming in. And right now you don't have balance, or you're either working too much or you're playing too much. You're either focused on helping people too much and not helping yourself, or maybe you need to focus on some more self-care. So take it in your life. We know where we're at. I have to find a balance of work and play, because either I get really like stationary or I work too much. I have a tendency to overfill my plate, and that's what just happened. I was gonna be definitely overfloweth the plateth, you know. So I feel that right now we need to adjust our lives to be able to be not overstimulated, to be able to make enough money, maybe cutting our spending or reevaluating how we're spending and saving. Maybe we need to save more and not be so spend happy. Maybe we need to not be so attached to money, where maybe we won't be as stressed. That's why I said you have to evaluate. And if you're playing too much, you could be having health issues. And if you're not taking care of your body, or you're not resting enough, or you're working too much and you're not getting enough sleep, or something's wrong in your body and you're not addressing it. So make sure that you're creating a balance and a homeostasis within your life, because as things are transitioning within this energy, life, things unfolding, we've got ascension, we've got all kinds of crazy stuff coming on, switching grids, and we talk about all kinds of stuff on this channel. You need to have balance. You need to have a quiet nervous system. You need to be grounded, because as these things approach or come into your life, when you are grounded and you are peaceful and you are not overstimulated, you can deal with it better. You can think of how to get through it. You can process it easier. You are not overstimulated, or you can finally say, not my monkeys. This is really bad. I can see that, but like, it's not mine. I'm going to put some prayers out to the universe. I'm going to try to maybe help in my community. Maybe I could help in my community. Things that I can do to feel like I'm contributing to more balance within the world. We, one person at a time, can create the change, the balance, whatever. If we are acting a certain way, we reflect out and we send out our energy to the world. So as we all start perceiving that we need to take care of our own vessel, as we bring light into our own lives and we create a homeostasis and a balance within our life, we are sending out a higher vibrational energy, which is then influencing other people to be more calm, to be maybe going after their thing. Oh, so-and-so went for this. Maybe I should try that. Or so-and-so's been really peaceful, or they're kind of, to their own. And when you talk to them, they say, oh, well, I'm just trying to unplug. I'm trying to be taking care of myself. I had some health stuff. I was ignoring it. You should consider doing this. Like, they might give you offers. So during this moon cycle, it's going to be a time of forgiving yourself or somebody else, thinking things through before you get either upset or making a choice. Maybe there's some things that are coming in, and instead, don't be hasty, I feel like, is part of it. And think why you're mad at somebody, or why you don't want to forgive, or you do want to forgive somebody. And then the other part is going to your higher power. You might be feeling it's Easter, it's religious holidays. It's very much a very religious time, spiritual time. We have the solstice that just happened, which is the start of our spring solstice. There's many things that are very spiritual right now. So the being connected to your higher power is going to be very prominent this month, or saying you need to connect to your higher power. You need to get back into alignment with Mother Earth, with God, Monad, whatever you call your God, source, whatever. You need to connect with that, because I feel like there's been a separation or a division, and we've kind of been going very internal, hiding in our houses, because there's been so much tumultuous energy that we're almost like, woo, like you're hiding. It's time to open up. It's time to trust and connect with your higher power and ask for wisdom, ask for comfort, ask for help. Okay, so guys, I hope this helps you. This moon cycle ahead will last till the next one. We're going to check in again about this during the full moon. So have a great day.